Okay, I'm recording this session in week 9, so by next week, week 10, you will have completed quite a considerable amount of your work for TMAO2. So I'm starting this session on page 9 of the project booklet 1, and it relates to the Minilogic program. Most of you will already have done the ePrime experiment. You will have downloaded and uploaded to the EPW. So this is a kind of a follow-up session. It assumes that most of you will have already had some experiment with ePrime. You have installed the ePrime software and that you're ready now to download the Minilogic, and I've already, as you can see here, downloaded the Minilogic file. Now, the advice I would give myself is to keep these files very carefully somewhere on your computer. I keep them on my desktop, but you could also keep them in documents. And this is my, as you can see here, my ePrime folder. I have extra files where I put away all the ones that are just spurious files that are produced in the course of events. But I keep the most important files here where they're visible. And as you can see, I have the minilogic.es, which is the Minilogic experiment that I downloaded. I also have the primestroop.es, which is the primestroop program that I downloaded from the EPW. And I also have primestroop-6265-1.edat. This is my personal identifier, MC6265, so I've used the numbers just in running the experiment, and of course 1, everyone will have 1. And then edat means eData aid file, so this is your primestroop data file. And this is the file that most of you will have uploaded to the EPW, and it will be integrated into the data sets which you will download for your SPSS. Now, for this session I'm going to start with Minilogic. So if you double click on minilogic.es, it'll open this this window, which is your ePrime window. Now, most of you will, if you just to play around with this a little bit, if I close all of these windows, I end up with a kind of a blank screen, and you're wondering where can you go from here. Well, the first thing you need to do is go to View, and then we'll restore the toolbox. So click Toolbox, and this toolbox window appears. Now, all of these little icons are used for creating experiments. You can drag them over here, and I think you have to set up a session proc first, but however you'll be dragging them over, putting a line, a procedure. Here's a procedure. Then you can put a time space on it, some procedures, some this image displays, various different things. So you can just add all of these things and build up your experiment in this way. But for the moment we'll close this because we don't need it. And so this is what you use to build your experiments. The next thing then to open will be the structure window. So here we have a program, an experiment, which is the primestroop experiment. It seems to have opened quite a lot of stuff. Okay, I think this is all the stuff that I've just so I'm going to close this and start again. So now let's start again with Minilogic, because I've messed it up a little bit. And here it's opening up nicely. And so if you do mess around with, play around with Minilogic and you end up with some pile of stuff, just close it and open it again. Don't save it and go back to your original. If you do, it might be an idea to keep a backup of the Minilogic, so you don't have to go back up and download it again if you do save over it and make a mess and you want to start over again. The other window which you will need is the properties window, and the purpose of this is it gives you information about the various parts of your experiment. So and you can go in here and change things here. Timing mode. You can so and make changes various places, change duration of things. So don't worry about any of that for the moment. Just that all these windows have a function, a purpose. Um, your experiment here, this is starting point. You see you have a kind of a tree here where you have the experiment, and within that you have the procedure, which is called session proc. This could be called anything. You can call it my main procedure or something like that. Then you have instructions. Every experiment must have instructions. Then you have 1 second, so this could be 2 seconds, half a second, so on. And then these are display slides. So these are just various components of the experiment. To see how this works, just click up this little button, the running man. So click run. And for this one you can just leave it as 1, so you click OK and yes, and the experiment runs. I'm sure what happens. Here you have some information. Instructions, you will see a statement on the screen. Any key to start. So B is to the left of A, so we press Y. And that's the end of your experiment. So you see it doesn't really do a whole lot. So that's just a few minutes playing around with E prime and Minilogic to get started. So I'll